from a while away, so I won't give any details away just yet. He will introduce himself shortly, but we are looking through photo submissions of a time capsule that he has sent in to a filmmaker in New York City who is creating a documentary about time capsules, especially the Crypt of Civilization, which is at Oglethorpe University down in Georgia. They are creating a documentary, so he has graciously given his photos in to help with that, and he has his own story about time capsules, which is, of course, what we want to talk about today on Time with Elyse. So let's hop right into it while I get some things sorted out. We have another guest, Ruben, who just joined from Bolivia. So quite an international crew here today. I'm very excited to hop right in. Ruben, thank you so much for joining us as well, and I will first introduce Arthur, and then we will just, go through the questions and start a general conversation on time capsules, of course. So I will add him in right now. Bear with me using this technology for the first time, but we are going to be doing this together. So here we are, and all right. Hi, Arthur. How are you?
So me? Okay, there we are.
How are you doing today?
Hello. Okay, my name is Arthur Gauvin.
You see me?
All right, my name is Arthur Gauvin, and I'm a Canadian. I live in southeastern New Brunswick, but I'm also a part of an association, a family association called the Gauvins of America, l'Association des Gauvins d'Amérique. We're bilingual. They're Americans that just speak English, but the largest portion of members are francophones. And in 2015, we decided to create a time capsule for a very special event. It was the 350th anniversary of the wedding of the pioneer couple, who are all of the Gauvins in pretty much North America, are all descendant of that pioneer couple who hail from France. She's a king's daughter. I don't know if anybody knows that story. I won't go into that, but anyway. And he's from Paris. She's from Paris, and he's from near La Rochelle, Croix-Chapeau. And so in 2015, we decided to do an event to mark the event of the wedding, of the anniversary, and invited people. We were only about 120, I'd say, at that event. It was a 3-day event, a weekend, and but there was a nice representation nonetheless. There was about 20 Europeans there. A group from the village of Jean Gauvin, the pioneer, near Croix-Chapeau, near La Rochelle. In fact, some were from La Rochelle, and others were from the villages in the suburbs of La Rochelle. And there was a number of them from Paris as well. And there were Gauvins from several states in the U.S. and several provinces in Canada that attended. On the Friday night of the event, we took pictures. We showed the capsule that had been fabricated and took pictures. All the participants were there was a facial picture of them in black and white taken at the Friday night event, and then next Saturday morning we had the pictures developed, so that on Sunday, the day that we would have the capsule put into the ground, we would have their pictures available. They all wrote with a pen, like an acid-free pen, in the back, a message to their descendant, to their offsprings. Hopefully someday would see it, and that was placed into the capsule, amongst other things like magazines, a few books. One of the Gauvins from Paris writes as an author and threw one of his books in it, and so. The idea is that in 50 years' time, we hope that, which would be 2065, we hope that the next generation will see it appropriately convene again and open up the capsule at that time. Just for a bit of a background note, prior to 215, there had been 50 years earlier the very first Gauvin meeting in the same spot, La Cindorette, just outside of Quebec City. And they inaugurated a park, a Gauvin Park, in that little village, in that town, in small town. And there are thousands of Gauvins that came from all over for that event, including one gentleman from France. And so they founded the park, they founded the association, and it was for the 300th anniversary of the pioneer couple wedding. And so we wanted to mark the 50 years later, our way of marking on the event with 350th, and that's why we're this explains the 50-year gap, if you will.
Yes.
So that's a bit of a quick. Sorry if it's long-winded. I'm not very good.
No, it's great. Thank you for the overview. And just for, our audience who's, new to the whole time capsule thing, new especially to your specific time capsule, this is like a family time capsule?
It is, yes, indeed.
Okay, yes.
It's a family time capsule because most of us all have the same DNA.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it seems like, just from your records, from what I've seen from your submissions, it seems like your family has a long-standing tradition with these time capsules. So why are these time capsules so meaningful to you and your family?
Well, this particular capsule, I think for us is, we see it as a leg, as I don't know what the term is in English, a leg. I'm a francophone. Bear with me. It's like a legacy for the next generation. That's how, and a legacy for the next generation. We just thought it was kind of a nice way to underline an important event. They had done it so well in 1965, and we wanted to mark it with the 50 years later with something significant. And we thought the capsule would be appropriate.
Yeah. So is this kind of going to become a family reunion for all of you to keep creating these time capsules and make an event for your family to get together?
Well, we're not going to create time capsules every now and then. This is the one capsule. They may, the next generation will decide. This is just the time capsule, one-time deal. For now.
Yeah. Obviously, time capsules are very fascinating to a lot of people. So, have you had any media interest since it was an event that you guys were doing?
I'm sorry, it's choppy and I didn't quite get your question.
I said time capsules are very fascinating for lots of people. Have you had any media interest? Any journalists asking you about it? That sort of thing.
If the media took interest in it, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we did. Well, in fact, there was an article in a magazine in France about the event. We publish our own little magazine, if you will. It's like a newsletter, but it's a little more thorough than that, and wrote about the capsule there. In fact, we just sent out another newsletter, and I was able to talk about the NotForgotten portion of the event, the new transfer to NotForgotten in the one that just came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we will be including that at the end of the podcast. If anyone wants to check it out, I will link all the articles that have covered him and his family, and I will. For the people that might have just joined in, remember this is a live podcast. I want to go over what you put into the podcast and into the time capsule and explain it a bit more. So time capsules, they're generally a bit smaller. So you do have to be selective about what you include. So what did you choose to put into the time capsule, and why did you specifically choose these items?
The idea of the picture was that it was more personable. It's
Mm-hmm.
an image of somebody, actually, for many who, for those who hopefully that will unearth the capsule, it'll be their ancestor or their direct ancestor that will be shown there in the picture. Um, the other items are just more everyday, but the main thing was the picture idea. I think for us was just it was just something personal from one. Everybody was sort of leaving a personal message to their descendants,
Yes.
and I think the image helped to sort of match it. And yeah,
Yeah, no, I love that. I agree. I think pictures add a lot of context to someone who they are. So I love that. But, when people do make time capsules, especially physical ones, a lot of the time they are lost. So, how are you ensuring that yours is not forgotten and that your descendants will actually be able to find the time capsule?
okay. Well, first of all, the place where we chose for the to put it on Earth in the ground is the family. It's a family monument, like the national monument. There's a large monument to the Gauvins in that park, and the park is was given by a Gauvin by the name of Cyrille Gauvin, who lived in that little the village where the pioneer couple settled in near Quebec. And so we named the capsule Cyrille for that very reason. There's an effigy of him in one side of the monument. Uh, so that to us that was part of the way to remember it. Of course, registering it with the International Association and Capsule Association was very important to us.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that there was a record there somewheres, and we on occasion keep talking about it in our newsletter. In fact, a couple of first years we had the anniversary. We called it Cyrille, and so Cyrille had a birthday, like his first birthday, second birthday. So we, keep bringing it up every year in a little, just so that people just won't forget.
Yeah.
Um, for now, that's about it.
No, yeah. I think that it's really great that the International Time Capsule Society has issued your time capsule its own library card on the World Cat, just so everyone can find your time capsule. So I actually want to take a look at that with you. And I want you to talk through some of the photos that you included, just so the audience can get a better idea of these photos, if that works with you.
The photos, which one? The photos that I included in the capsule
So
for the event, you mean?
yeah, so I will show you right now. Can you see it?
All right.
Mm-hmm. So
Yep, that's the.
for the audience members who are unaware of a registry and what that looks like, I've pulled it up here so that you can see it. So obviously we have his time capsule registration, the owner, the date, the opening date, the purpose of this time capsule, and then I want to talk a little bit about the photos. So wondering if you could talk me through some of these photos.
Well, that to me, that's probably one of the most important photos because here they were putting it on the ground. Yeah, they're digging. Well, that's two or three Gauvins who are filling the capsule. The guests, the participants had already included their photos in a little plastic acid-free bag and passed it on to the team that were receiving it, and they included it in the photo in the capsule. There we are putting the capsule into the ground. I'm here. That's me in front with the belly near the capsule. The Gauvin to my left. There's at very end is the Gauvin Association in Europe that
Yeah.
is there. So they're all Gauvins. Yeah, that guy there exactly. And there you are. It's in the ground, and it's
Wow.
placed. I don't. Yeah, it's in front. In the earlier photo, you could see the monument in the back. I think. No, the one before. Yeah, no, yeah, that was, you see the monument there, and the effigy of the donor Cyril is on the monument itself.
Wow.
Um, so that's a park there in front of the city hall of that little small town in Quebec, near Quebec City. So everybody was fascinated by this whole event. They really, as you can see, they're curious and excited, and that's a group from Europe in front of the Gauvin side, like the Pioneer couple side. They're
Wow.
all Europeans from Paris and from La Rochelle, Chapeau. Yeah,
So it was an event, and this.
yeah. This is the park. That's the little city hall in the back. I'm not saying that it. We didn't have unfortunately, we didn't do a picture of the whole group, and I really regret that. There was a meeting inside the city hall that like an annual meeting of the association where we're more. But anyway, we're about 100, and as I say, we're about 124 for the event, for the weekend event registered, and I think we're close to 100 there.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I just wanted to give everyone an idea of what those photos looked like when you explained this event. It looks really amazing, and I'm glad you guys were able to get together and preserve history. So, do you think these time capsules are useful? Is a useful way of preserving history? It's definitely a unique way, but would you say it's useful?
Are you asking me
Yeah.
again? Yes. Well, I think it was useful in the sense that for those who participated and their families, even those who didn't participate, found it a very neat way of marking the event. Hopefully, and they all feel the same way. Hopefully, someday it'll be worth something. Somebody will unearth it and make an event. But in the meantime, we can talk about it. We're it's something to talk about, and in, I think many of those who participated have shared their little story, their little just participating in the event was meaningful to them.
Yeah.
And I think they shared it with others, and whether or not it's, to tell you the truth, I hope it's unearthed, but even if it isn't, I think it'll have been a worthwhile event,
Yes. I mean,
because I think it's something we can talk about.
exactly. I think the experience is priceless in itself, but when you're talking about this time capsule, obviously time capsules rot, right? Physically and digitally. So, have you done anything special to ensure that yours will survive all the way up to 2065? Earlier, you said you put it in a special Ziploc bag, but yeah, tell me a little bit about how you ensured that yours would last, or how you work to ensure that.
Well, it was all acid free, marker pens and bags. The kind capsule was sealed with the wax. There's a rim. There's a special rubber rim, and we sealed it with the wax to ensure that water wouldn't penetrate inside. Um, Everything that was placed inside was put in a bag.
Okay.
That's um, we're not experts. Hopefully we did it right, and that it won't fade away. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean, just the experience is important, and I'm glad you guys were all able to get together. So when we think about the opening in 2065, what do you think the world will be like?
that's a terribly good question. It is a terribly good question. We're in a changing world, and I don't know what it's going to look like, because it was so different in 1965 when they met, when
Right.
the first group met in '65 50 years earlier than that, it was just so different. People were not as busy as they were in 2015. Uh, what interests and preoccupations will people have in 2065? I don't know. Will they be motivated to want to continue this? I really don't know. It's a
Yeah.
darn good question.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
one that we should really reflect on.
no, I think about it all the time, and I think that history is rapidly changing, or the world that we live in, and time capsules are as well. So a lot of time capsules today are actually digital. So what do you think the future of time capsules will look like? When we fast forward to 2065, do you see holograms, DNA printing? What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really given that much thought to it. If they're digital, yeah, uh, I the idea of putting it into the ground has something, I don't know, more textual. I don't know. There's something about it. If it wasn't put into a ground or in a something, I don't know if I'd have the same view of the capsule. I mean, I
Okay.
really appreciate having the registry digitalized.
Yeah.
To me, that's very important. And we still have the pictures. I think I can retract the pictures that we took of everyone, but the group decided not to share that. We could have shared, for instance, the facial pictures of everybody, but and some guests asked us to share it, but we didn't. We
Yeah.
just wanted to keep that as part of the intrigue, if you will, of the capsule.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Otherwise, it would be, what's it all about?
yes. No, I agree. For people watching, they're intrigued by storytelling. We have a passion for storytelling here, so obviously time capsules are interesting. Do you have any advice to give to people who want to create time capsules who may not have any experience doing so?
Well, I can't say I'm an expert or that we're experts, um, but what could I share with them on this? It's really important to really record everything as much as you can. I think take as many pictures. I have a lot more pictures of the event, but I think that's important. Uh, hmm. It has to have some meaning, some significance, and where you put it in, what you want it to mean to others is really important. I don't regret the way it's not the way we did it was right for us, and it's not a capsule that has very very important objects in there. We didn't want that. We wanted something to have sort of sentimental uh, approaches rather than important objects in there. But others might feel that way about so
Yeah.
I I think our yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you put in it as long as it's meaningful to you. Um, I love the idea of putting handwritten notes in it and photos. I think that matters more than any type of object, unless it's very representative of the time. So, obviously, a lot of people making 2020/2021 time capsules put face masks in them. So, if there's something that's very indicative of the times that we're living in, maybe put that in. But I do like the sentimental approach more as well.
Yeah. I can say too is that I think for us as well is that to have participated in that project with others across the world who
Mhm.
participated in a similar project, we feel we're kind of in a unity with a community of people who've done this, and we're kind of on the map, if you will, for
Yeah.
having participated. And we put our association name on the map, the little village where the pioneer couple settled through over 350 years ago on the map. so there was something meaningful that way. It was just joining in on others who probably have very different projects, different purposes, but nonetheless, we're part of that little community. And when I see in the Not Forgotten uh, website the map with little icons and all over the continent, several continents, I find that very neat. It's neat that we have one little icon in that little map.
Yeah.
Actually, that shows where ours is.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up right now to show people what it looks like, because I think that's really, really neat as well. So let's try to find, we've had a lot more people do time capsules, so it's getting a little busy. But you are, where are you? You are, I think, this one. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
So,
there you are.
Yeah, for anyone watching.
So it's cool to be part of that little group.
Yeah, Arthur brought up a great point. If you want to go onto this website, you can see all of the people kind of in the world who have made time capsules. I think it's really cool because we only have a select few in Canada. Quebec, I think you are the only one here. So you are the only one in history who has registered their time capsule with the International Time Capsule Society, which is part of the reason, that I wanted to bring you on here. And I wanted to talk to you about it because you really are the first one in history. So I thought that was really interesting and really cool. I wanted to hear your opinion and what you thought about your experience to hopefully get some more, people in your area to maybe do their own time capsules and end up on the map. Can you hear me?
Elyse, are you talking to me or?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, what was I missed the question. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just telling the audience that, this was great to give an idea of, the map to see who makes time capsules near you. And I was telling you that I think it's really great because you are actually the only person in your area who has ever made a time capsule that's been registered with the International Time Capsule Society. So it's pretty historical as well. I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, yes, it's a novelty to be able to say, like, I thought there'd be more. I know there are others, and I must, like, in Quebec, perhaps it's not as popular. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm surprised, to tell you the truth. I know that where I live, because I'm not a Quebecer, where I live in New Brunswick, the city of Moncton, near where I am, for instance, have a time capsule. I don't know where it's registered, but in Quebec, obviously there aren't lots. We're about the only one, so it's a novelty. And you're right; it is a bit of a historical thing.
It definitely is. I think the event that you held was actually like the first piece of history. So I think that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I have to bring another guest on now, but again, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I've loved talking about it. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. All right, guys. That was Arthur. Great. Really awesome because he was the first in Quebec to do his time capsule and have it registered on the International Time Capsule Society so that people can view it. So even if his descendants, for some reason, cannot locate his time capsule, they can view it through the library and his registry and see the pictures that he has shared. So really amazing way to, save your history and your legacy, which he said earlier on in the interview. So now we are bringing on another guest named Ruben. He has made his own time capsule as well for actually Bolivia. So he's joining us from a while away. We're super excited to have him. So I'm going to bring him on and we will see what happens with this. Hi, Ruben. How are you?
Hello, Elyse. How are you?
I'm good. I can hear you, by the way. It's all good.
Oh, thank you. I was about to ask that.
Yes. So, obviously the audience, we don't know each other. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, about myself, I'm an activist from Bolivia, a political and democracy activist. I'm also an engineer. I have a company about software. But the reason we made this time capsule was because the political crisis that Bolivia has had in the previous decades, especially in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's why we made the time capsule. And we actually, I'm not from a political party, but I'm from civil society. And well, actually, in the last 5 years, the civil society has organized themselves in many small groups or others bigger. But we have, I don't know, uh, make something about the crisis in Bolivia.
Yeah, of course. And for those who are not, for our listeners who's not aware, can you give us an idea of what exactly is happening over there?
Well, I think it's a common problem as the rest of Latin America. We have a crisis with our current government
Mm.
and also with the government back then in 2018 when we made the time capsule. Well, the crisis is mainly because in that specific year, our president pretended to remain in power uh, for more time than he should.
Oh, wow.
We have a constitution in Bolivia, and that constitution limits how many times a president can stay in power.
Just like ours.
So exactly like the rest of the world.
Yeah, wow.
But this president, because he had a lot of support from Bolivians, so he tried to stay in power. So in well, don't want to bore you with the details, but
No, this is interesting. It's context.
okay, okay. Well, a little bit of context will be in 2015. This president called a referendum, which is a public question to everybody to ask if if he would be allowed to stay in power for one more term.
Wow.
But the question was asked just uh, for not just one term. It was asked to avoid the constitutional limit.
Wow.
So at that moment, uh, people like me, which had no political affiliation, decided to do something about it. So they organized themselves and made protests, made uh, a movement in social media, and uh, well, it was a very hard time for Bolivians. Actually, I was thinking about leaving the country at
Wow.
some point, and when I was asking myself, should I leave the country because of this problem? I said, well, first I need to do something about it, and then if I don't succeed, then I can go, I don't know, USA, Europe, somewhere. And well, we actually did something. We participated as a community in the political campaign of this referendum,
Yeah.
which was held in the 2016 in February 21st.
Wow.
So this became a special date for us because in that date we actually beat the president.
That's amazing.
And thank you. And I think I also think it's amazing because this president actually had a lot of power.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the highest power president in the history of Bolivia, talking in constitutional terms. because he had a lot of support from Bolivians, actually.
Wow.
Actually, many people thought of this president as a different politician, which actually was not. So he used his control of the Congress, he control over the constitutional system, because we have a system that should permit you, should allow you to modify your constitution, and also should uh, keep the constitution from being violated.
Yeah.
So he used all this power to celebrate this referendum, which was unconstitutional in the first place. And then after this date in 2016, he said, well, okay, this door was closed, but there would be another door in the future. I'm going to find it and I'm going to open it for me. So
This
he
sounds
actually did
a lot
it.
like Donald Trump, I will say.
Yeah, I know. I know. It actually sounds a lot like what happened in Colombia, what happened in Ecuador. What we it actually sounds a lot like what actually happened in Venezuela,
Yeah.
what happened in Cuba a few decades ago. So definitely, it's not a coincidence. Yeah.
No. A
No,
lot of
it's not a
Americans were
coincidence.
worried too that Donald Trump wouldn't leave when he was voted out. So it's pretty crazy that you were in the position that you had a politician who really wanted to change the rules to accommodate himself.
Exactly.
Wow.
So actually, this issue, which we many people call the 21F movement,
Wow.
21F because of the date, February 21st, actually ended last year because uh, well, actually, it ended 2 years ago, 2019. In October, we celebrated a election, a national election, and the president, which participated in this election illegally, he opened himself the door I was talking about. He actually used all these powers to be a candidate. He actually was forced to make a fraud because he was about to, he was going to lose. So the election took place, and the results should be ready in 2 days or 3 days, something very short. And we all were surprised because the countdown was stopped
Wow.
for, I think, 72 hours or something. And the countdown said he was not going to win, but he was going to be a second election. I don't know
What?
how you say that in English,
That doesn't happen
but
here. They can do that?
yeah, I know it's different than the US, but in other countries is very common also.
Yeah.
The logic of that is that if you're a candidate and you don't win by a certain margin,
Mm-hmm.
you should rerun the election with only two candidates, obviously the two first candidates.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's very common, especially in Latin America. And he was uh, the poll said that if that happened, he was going to lose against the second candidate. So the countdown stopped. The election changed the, how do you say this? The, in Spanish would be the tendency.
Okay.
And he said he won by 1%.
No, you can't do
Yeah.
that.
So that was statistically impossible.
Wow.
Actually, the American or the OEA, Organización de Estados Americanos, the organization where is also US, Brazil, Mexico, Chile, etc. They were present here in this election, and they made a report about these results, and they basically said this is impossible. So there
Yeah.
was no way that this tendency would change so abruptly in just the final 5% of voting. So what happened next is that uh, there was a month of crisis,
Yeah.
and he finally resigned and flew away to Mexico, like
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
he flew away.
I honestly, I wish I had heard about this. This sounds like really out of a movie.
Yeah, I know. And
That's
well,
what people were worried about happening in America when Donald Trump said the election was fake and then the votes were wrong. So it's pretty insane to hear that this actually happened in your country.
and actually, it happened like it's crazy how similar they are.
Yeah.
It happened that the same in Venezuela. We are incredibly look-alike than Venezuela. The main difference is that in this case, the president didn't stay in power. That's the main difference. But
Yeah.
if you see the chronology of actions took by the government, you can see the similarities. It's very crazy. You can see the same actions only 10 years apart.
Wow. So you really lived through history, Ruben.
Yeah, yeah, it was very crazy. And actually, that's why we made the time capsule, because in
Yeah.
2018, we when the president was in power, when there was absolutely no hope of us succeeding, we said, well, we need a escape. So we don't have money. The political system of parties is very weak. There's only one there in those the years. There was only one main party in Bolivia, the
Wow.
president's party. So we really didn't have any hope back then. The only hope we had was the possibility to remain fighting. So that's why when a group of activists, which we were working 3 years by then, we said, well, we need to send a positive message to our fellow activists
Yeah.
from Bolivia, especially from our city. So we said we need a time capsule. We need to send a message to the Bolivia in 10 years from now in the future, and we need to think what would Bolivia look like if we win.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how are the odds. It only matters that what is going to happen if we win.
Yeah.
So we organized an event in 2018 in 21st in February. Um, we call other activists. We organize some kind of fair, an activism fair, and we said we're going to launch a time capsule. It's going to be for Bolivia in 10 years, and we're going to write, send an object, send a picture, send some message for Bolivia in this specific date, and we're going to write to ourselves what are we going to uh, what we need to hear in the future,
Yeah.
and we're going to win. We already did because of the previous referendum 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and just it's a matter of time for us to be in a full democracy with a different government, with a different president, with a different political system of parties, and uh, and that was an escape from that reality. And I think that hope, like many other people had in other parts in Bolivia, was the fundamental thing that made us succeed,
Yeah.
which actually we did in 2019, just
Wow.
two
So
years
only
ago.
1 year after you guys made the time capsule.
Yeah, that was, yes, you could say we win. you could say we win.
Yeah.
But a lot had happened since then. Uh, we we had to rerun the elections, the fraud election. We had to rerun it in 2020 in October last year, and we had the pandemic.
Right.
We had a new government which was also corrupt from a different party, very corrupt. We had a political division from people who fought against the former president. They divided, and the result was the last year the party from the previous president actually won. So today's president in Bolivia is his former economic minister, minister of economics. So the previous president actually is free. He was protected by Argentinian government the last 2 years. The government from Argentina is actually a left government. One thing is very important. The left in Latin America doesn't mean the same as the left in US. It's very different.
Very different. So for everyone
Very
listening, different. Okay.
It's very different.
Okay.
So in Latin America, we can say that left has behaved a lot like Trump.
Wow.
That's
so it's
one
opposites.
main difference.
Got it.
Yeah. I personally don't think about labels. I don't think about right and left, but I think about you're doing. If I think about the actions.
Me too.
If you don't respect your constitution, so I
and
don't care
policy,
what
right?
is your exactly. I don't care what do you say you think.
Yeah.
I better see your actions. So
I agree.
This president is still free. Actually, he participated as a political leader in the previous elections because we had elections these years for governors and mayors, and actually they are almost outside the law. The law doesn't reach them. I'm talking about this party and these leaders.
So you guys have been there's been a lot going on, and I'm sure it's only heightened during the pandemic, right?
Right. The pandemic just made it worse, actually.
Yeah.
Many people think, I also think that the pandemic actually benefit the former president.
Oh.
Why? Because it showed that the government that followed him, which was an opposition party government, they actually did it very bad. They had more time to corrupt, to steal. We didn't have the elections when we were trying to because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
We were trying to have elections like 1 month after the pandemic reached Bolivia.
Wow.
So it was very, very hard for us to be in this place because it looked like everything we have achieved turned against us.
Yeah. Wow.
But I don't think that there are goods and bads. I don't think that this president is the main source of our problems. I think the political things that are happening in your country is just an expression of people, of normal people like me and their actions, normal people like me and what they do and what not do and what they don't do. So the real change we need in Bolivia is just not just a change of president or this party or whatever party. We need a change of how we behave.
Yeah, agreed.
How we take actions on the things that matters to us.
Yeah.
So I think that this last idea is one thing that we try to put in the time capsule. So what do you think Bolivia should be in 10 years? Actually, that was the question when we asked people to participate with objects and messages.
Yeah.
So many
So
people
obviously,
said,
it was very meaningful to you guys to create that. Gave you some time to reflect and see, you know, what you were. They were all activists, so what you guys were actually fighting for and what you wanted to see within those next 10 years, right?
yeah, and actually, I think it's very possible for us to achieve some of the things we have written
Yeah.
on them. We still have time. This capsule, like I said, is for 10 years. It will be opened in 2028, 20, yeah, 2028. And um, and actually, mm, I personally think that there are many young people, less than 40, less than 30, that are actually interested in,
Yeah.
in, in Bolivia's politics.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that is the main reason why things are going to change,
Me
because
too.
more people are related to the issue, and many people are going to participate and are going to open a new party, change the current parties. I think we had some time for us to see something different for that year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the youth of America as well. You know, we're all going to be, you know, fighting for reform on a societal level more so. And I love that you have the time capsule as that point in history, and it's obviously very meaningful to you and whoever added to it. When I did see a picture that you submitted, it did not look like what I expected at all. It was much bigger. So tell me, what is that made of? Because I haven't seen it. And then what are, you know, the contents in this time capsule? Obviously, you said our records indicate that the time capsule contains messages of hope for the future of Bolivia. But can you tell me a little bit about what those messages are? And again, what is that time capsule actually made of? Because it's very big from what I saw in the picture.
Yeah, it's very big. Like I said, it was organized by ourselves. We paid for it, so we don't have an income as a group. And the best thing we could find was a water tank that actually is designed for be underground.
Wow.
And it has a 10-year warranty, so it should work.
Oh, I
And
love that.
it is made of some kind of special plastic for storing water. Like I said, it's designed also to be like on the roof of the house, or also underground. And we sealed it with silicone, and we actually made a brick chamber underground,
Oh,
so
wow.
it doesn't get crushed in the time. We put a concrete top,
Oh, wow.
a concrete top with metal, very thick, and in the top of it, well, it is a water tank closed, hermetically closed. We put mainly paper.
Mm.
There is also newspapers from the day. There are flags. There are pen drives, etc. We put them in individual plastic bags, Ziplocs,
So
and
similar to Arthur, he also put them in plastic bags.
yeah, it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
And and finally, we put a small plate. I don't know how to say it in English. It's granite could be. I don't know. But it's a plate that won't burn, one
Oh, yes.
would
Okay.
last, and it has the message and the instructions for opening. It has
Mm.
the exact date and hour for opening.
Wow. So you guys obviously put a lot of thought into it. Really great idea to use something that's meant to be in the ground for 10 years. So, you know, you can get the most out of it. Hopefully it doesn't rot away. But, you know, most time capsules that people create are lost. So how are you ensuring that yours are not forgotten and that the people of Bolivia in the future will actually find the time capsule?
Well, first of all, we have a Facebook page, which actually is very big for Bolivia, and we have a there's a lot of people that lives in this city that knows about this time capsule. We have photographs and videos of this. Actually, and also is in a public square. Is downtown, and one of our members lives 2 blocks from this square, so it's very close. He sees it every day,
Okay.
and also I went every week or something. And the next thing we're going to do, we didn't have actually made it, is done it, is to ask for a local law to protect the time capsule, which actually is very easy for Bolivia to do. We haven't done it because of the political crisis.
Hmm.
The local government was something else. And recently, a month ago, we have a new mayor in Santa Cruz. This time capsule is located in Santa Cruz de la Sierra, Bolivia.
Okay.
So we now are in a good time to write the, the project of law and to send it to the local um, council. And they're going to, I hope, I have a friend who actually was an activist, which is now part of the local council. And we hope that we're going to get our law granted, which actually is very simple. We only want that it doesn't get destroyed when they remodel the
Yeah.
square or something.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, you have the International Time Capsule Society issuing, right, your time capsule its own library card on the World Cat. So I did find you guys through that. So I wanted to take a look and just show the audience here what that actually looks like. I'm not sure if you've seen your record of the time capsule, but
Yes, I have.
oh, you have? Great. I think it's a really cool way just to get the people watching to see what it looks like. So for the audience members, this is the time capsule that they made for the future of Bolivia. And this is its information. So, you know, the owner, the seal date, which we've talked about the importance of, and the purpose of this time capsule, of course. So this is what you'll receive, you know, when you do a time capsule, when you do store it, to make sure it's never lost. And this is what it looks like. So when I was saying it is very large, it is huge. So everyone is sitting here and they have, you know, these time capsules. Um, so we saw Arthur's was a little bit skinnier, metal, and this one is made out of something completely different. So it just shows that anyone can make a time capsule, any material that you want. But tell me a little bit, Ruben, just walk me through these photos so the audience can get a better idea of context. Maybe you can point out some faces. We have a few more questions in store, but yeah, tell me a little bit about these photos.
Well, this is a particular photo is taken the following day that we made the event. We made the event and it was took place at night and took place at night. And this is the following day. So we already have the hole in the ground with bricks,
Oh,
and we just finish sealing the time capsule there. So I'm the one with the sunglasses, and and we were about to dig it. And the photo at the right is the some of the people that participated. They are mainly activists, and my
and
girlfriend is there.
these activists aren't paid, right? They just volunteer.
No, no, we aren't paid. We are self-organized.
Wow, that's very cool. So everyone got together and put this together. I love that you guys labeled it too. It just looks very professional.
Yeah, actually, we made an animation. We have a friend who is fan of Rick and Morty, the show.
Oh, that's so
So
funny.
he made an animation using this design with especially this design, and made an animation like 2-minute animation to call people to participate. And he made a, an, an animation using Rick and Morty style.
Yeah. Did you email that to me?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, so
I
on
didn't
my
upload many pictures for the website, but I have some more.
I think I have my email I could pull up. This is it, right?
Yes.
I wanted to pull it up, but I wasn't really sure how I do that.
That is a video.
Well, we also have these pictures I wanted to show you.
Yeah, that was at night, and we finished with this plate, this white plate.
Okay, let's see if we can load this. Oh, here we are. There's no sound, but
It should be. There is sound, maybe.
Si queréis mandar un mensaje en la cápsula del tiempo, lleva tu mensaje escrito o busca los murales que estarán ubicados en la avenida Monseñor Rivero, donde podrás escribir lo que querrás decirle a Bolivia. Este 21 de febrero el tiempo y pondremos todos los mensajes de los ciudadanos. Tras un breve acto, procederemos a cerrar la cápsula y la sellaremos para que viaje 10 años al futuro. La enterraremos en la plazuela del estudiante con una placa conmemorativa que dirá 21F 2018, Día del Ciudadano, mensaje con amor para Bolivia. Abrir el lunes 21 de febrero del año 2028 a horas 6 p.m. Ciudadanos, nos vemos el 21F en la avenida Monseñor Rivero a las 6 de la tarde.
Wow! I really love that. I feel like you guys were so creative, and it just goes to show that time capsules, making them is only half of the fun. It's only the first half, but opening it, 10 years later and setting that event, and you guys have done such an amazing job at really building the hype. It seems so exciting to be able to gather. You even have a time, 6 p.m. in 10 years from now. So I think that's great. I haven't seen anything like that before.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I share with you the idea of this being cool. I'm sorry I say that, because I didn't do all the work. Obviously,
yeah.
It was genuine work from people who was already convinced of the objective.
Yeah.
So this thing proved to be meaningful and very I don't know. It meant all to us, because this animation was made with a friend, and he did it 2 days in just 2 days. Another friend made the audio, another friend put the letters, another friend put, and all that was done was made with the best effort of these people, and I feel very proud to know these people, because they are very skillful.
Clearly.
What I'm trying to say, I'm sorry, as you can hear, English is not my native language. But what I'm trying to say is that being convinced made a difference in this whole crisis. So people with the same objective, and they were convinced that they were doing the right thing for Bolivia, and we were doing this. I'm doing this for 6 years now, and continue doing this, and it's the difference. So I think there are no good and bads in the history of Bolivia, but there are a lot of people that are doing good things for Bolivia.
Yeah, and I love that you guys have highlighted that. And it's interesting that you did choose to open it in 10 years. So why did you choose that? Was it because of what you put it in?
There were 2 reasons.
Okay.
One is because of the capsule, because the quarantine. So I said I was hoping to use something that would last at least this time, and also because it was easy to remember then. And one more thing is that the president said he was going to be president for 2025.
Wow.
But if he had succeeded, we knew that he would be president again. So in 10 years, 2028, would be the term. It was a probable term for him to be in power.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about we were thinking about that event.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of kind of a celebration of sorts.
I'm sorry?
So it would be kind of a celebration when you open that time capsule in 10 years.
Yeah, we're going to make a new event. We're going to record it. I hope many people will still be in Bolivia, and yeah, there's definitely going to be something huge.
Yeah. And what do you think Bolivia will be like in 2028?
Hmm. Well, I hope we have a different president for one for for one side, and on the other side, I hope that we would have new politicians on the both sides, and we would have people that is participating actively in what's happening in Bolivia,
Yeah.
not just being political, but I don't know. I really hope people is taking things in their hands by then.
Yeah.
Hope that people participates more.
Yeah. And, obviously with regular time capsules, like we spoke about with Arthur, physical rot is an enemy and data rot as well when you do it digitally. So besides putting it, I guess you answered this because I was going to ask, have you done anything to ensure that the time capsule will survive to 2028? You did that with the material it was put in and doing that concrete over the top and the plating and the bags, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how things are going to be preserved, especially the paper, which is the main thing that's inside the capsule.
Yeah.
But when we put the paper in the Ziploc bags, we took all the air.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little pump to get the air out. I think that helps.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the main thing that's probably going to damage, to rot.
Yeah. And obviously technology is evolving every day, especially in the time capsule industry. So a lot of time capsules that people are creating today are digital. So what do you think of the future of time capsules? What do you think they'll be like when you do open it in 2028? Do you think people will still be doing physical, or you think we've pivoted into digital at that point?
Well, I'm not sure, but what I'm sure is that physical time capsules are, I don't know, people understand it better.
Okay.
But for us, it was very hard to make people understand what was a time capsule because it sounds like science fiction, right?
Yes.
So when you explain that is something that you close and you open, it's very easy to explain.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen. Probably, I don't know, things are going to be very different, but the physical way is going to be the best way to people to participate and to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the more traditional way. But with these digital time capsules as well, even with you are now on the map, just like we showed before. You're on that International Time Capsule Society map. So people will be able to find your record of your time capsule and look and see the photos that you inserted, which obviously you submitted to be in that documentary. So clearly you see the importance of saving history. You should look into digital time capsules because they are also more affordable, which I recognized when you were saying earlier that you guys don't have a budget and you had to pay for it yourself, right?
Right.
I can imagine that was kind of expensive for the size and everything that you put in it.
Yeah, it was very expensive, but we were really used to spend our money by then. we didn't actually make it this hard decision. We were already doing it. But
Yeah.
I see your point. I see that the digital time capsules are going to be something uh, uh, that's going to make the idea more accessible for more people. I
Yeah.
see your point.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll also see the potential of the idea. I'm trying to use it in the future for other purposes.
Yeah.
Not this purpose specifically, but
Yeah.
for other.
Yeah. I made a time capsule, a digital one of myself while we were living in the pandemic. So hopefully I can look back at it and show my kids it when I'm older and they could see their mother living through the COVID-19 pandemic. So, you know, the digital ones can be preserved for up to 300 years. So I do think maybe that's the way we'll pivot. However, any time capsules are good, and I think just preserving it and as Arthur said too, just the event of doing it and getting everyone together to collaborate is really special. So just as our last question to leave it off, do you have any advice to give to people who want to create time capsules who may not have done it before?
The thing that I can say about this, about the time capsule, is that the main reason should be to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to, I don't know, preserve what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're seeing in a particular period of time, or you need to send some messages. I send that there is sometimes that you realize that what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There are some short periods of time when you get shocked by this vision, and it happens to all of us. So these moments are meant to not to last. You lose it with time. So this is a good time to preserve it.
Yeah.
So that's a message, no?
No, I agree. And
Really
I do. So I want to thank you so much for coming on here, talking about your experience. I learned so much about Bolivia and what you guys are experiencing over there. And I think this time capsule will serve as hope for the future. So I think it's a really great idea that you were able to do one. And you did it in such a durable way. I think it'll make it to 10 years.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to
I-
bring Arthur back on just to say goodbye to the audience. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Arthur, I just want to say thank you both so much for coming here today. I know, time differences aside, you all made time, and I really appreciate it. I know our audience has really enjoyed listening to both of you guys. So thank you so much again for today. And you guys can do a little wave to everyone. He's on a little bit of a delay. Arthur's like, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. And we will be speaking soon. I will, you know what? I'm going to post when I put this podcast down below, I'm going to post Ruben's animation. And Arthur, if you have any more photos you want to send over, feel free to do that as well. So thank you guys again. Really nice speaking to you.
Thank you, Elyse.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was our first episode of the Time Capsule series, where we bring experts in from around the globe to talk about their experiences making time capsules. And again, they've all submitted their photos to be in documentaries. So really looking forward to that. And tune in. Next week we're gonna go over with more guests that come in slowly but surely, who have submitted pictures from all over